Welcome. I am so glad you're with me today. I want to welcome you into this very special episode of Power of Pure Presence, episode number 5. It's July 31st. The first thing I want you to do is check in with yourself. You made it. You're here to this moment. While there's lots of things to cover today, most of this is going to be unplanned. We're going to see what arises in the present moment. If you're here for the first time, my name's Austin. This is a unique show that's being sent out to Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and it's a unique opportunity. And why is it so important to connect with nature? I'm going to invite you to pause and breathe throughout the show, starting right now. Breathe in through your nose. Pause. Breathe out through your mouth, a nice cleansing breath. Again. You can probably feel the calm of this space. Let's co-create an amazing space today. The one thing that came to me just as I was preparing and I was looking around at this place and just marveling at this canopy above me. Is the Japanese, you should call it art philosophy of Shinrin Roku. Shinrin Roku has really become a phenomenon. And it's about forest bathing. So I'm going to get into that, the power of it. The power not only being in nature, but even watching it. Like right now, we're going to take some opportunities throughout the show just to pause, and I'm going to invite you to listen. And even though you're not physically in the space with me, the research keeps coming back that even observing nature is a powerful catalyst that impacts our mood and our biochemistry. I have a reading that I want to get to today. We have special guests today. But right now, I just want to invite you to check in with yourself as you're breathing. Maybe notice your breath. Maybe you're able to hear my surroundings here and just notice what you hear. Maybe you're feeling something in your body and just notice it. Power of Pure Presence is about being completely in the moment, observing what comes up. Because if you think about it, and I'll just share my story, I just had this obsessive drive to manipulate the moment to get to a future moment. And as I started to do this show, it's interesting, right? You create something and then it creates you. And then it starts to take on something that you can't explain. I started to look back on all the times I was not in the moment. And maybe the moments that if I just would have hung in there and just allowed the space for that moment to unfold, there could have been something beautiful. However, we shall not cease from exploration. And in all of our exploring, we shall arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So if you are in earshot of this show, you're hearing it live, I want to greet you here in a moment. If you are even on the playback, this is it. The dis-ease of the world is a hyper focus to get to a future moment. When I get that amount of money, when I get that job, when I get that relationship, when I get to that new home. And by the way, all of that is good, but not if it takes away living fulfilled today. So as this show unfolds, I'm not here to fix anything. We're just here to be in the moment together. We're going to pause and breathe throughout the show. We're going to grab your shares. We're going to talk about gratitude. I have a special guest that's going to be joining us here soon because for those of you, just a quick little context, this show kind of evolved out of this morning show that I did. I've done so many videos out in nature, and there you go, right? Your nature, and I got a beautiful reading about that. But it just started to evolve, being present with nature, and it just evolved into this show. But one of the things we do in the morning is we highlight gratitude. So I was reading out of this book every morning called Sunrise Gratitude, 365 Morning Meditations for Joyful Days All Year Long by Emily Silva. And thanks to our sponsor, Miss Duchess DJ Love, she reached out to Emily, and we have Emily here. It's going to come on as a guest to read today's reading. How cool is that? So I invite you to share this with one person. I invite you to share in the chat whatever's coming up for you. Okay? You don't have to fix or manipulate anything. You can simply share how you're feeling. And if you don't feel good, just acknowledge that. If you feel great, acknowledge that. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to co-create, and we're going to get to this book here, this reading soon. But let me do this. Let's start it off with the way we normally do. I'm going to, and by the way, most of this is unplanned. I'm just going to be grabbing stuff because we want it to be organic, spontaneous, and in the moment, just as I want you to be right now, because your mind is probably racing. So let's just pause and breathe right now. Just stop, close your eyes if you can, or if you're able to, and just pause and breathe again. Breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. Don't try to overdo it. Just allow. Allow yourself to be in this moment. You clicked on this. So allow the moment to unfold. What I want you to do is just find that deepest breath of the day. We'll do it together. What I found is it doesn't take much to get grounded. So we use the hourglass as a symbol, as a reminder that life is always now. It's always unfolding now. And we might, if you're like me, you are trying to get to this grain of sand up here. You're just stepping over everything. You're just manipulating the moment, trying to get here, trying to get all this stuff done. Mind is racing, and what if, and should haves, and could haves, and all this stuff's running through your mind. But meanwhile, like, this is life right here, right? Or for some of you, you've had a tough time. Maybe there's something you had a tough time accepting right now, and you're going like it's already done, right? The sand has already come through, and it's down here, and you've unconsciously jumped down here, and you're trying to go back to that grain of sand, and you're trying to see, gosh, if I could just change it, if I could just make it different. And we find that we can't. And so acceptance can happen in an instant. It can take decades. But if you can just acknowledge it today, that's huge. If you can just acknowledge that there's something I'm not accepting. And then if we are intentional, we can be, and I'll talk about that, we can be intentional in the moment, and we can start to move the hourglass, right? So instead of trying to jump up here, we can say, well, what if I could just do this today? What if I could just be a little more grateful today? What if I could call somebody and tell them I love them today, or that I was thinking about them? What if I could get out in nature and talk about this Shinrin Roku? Does it really work? I'll talk about that. Can we do that? Can we do that? Dr. Grant, welcome. I'm going to be speaking about parasympathetic nervous system today. Dr. Grant is a 35 plus year wellness professional, helps people calm, get into their parasympathetic so they can heal, refresh, digest. But this is it. I'm exaggerating this because I want you to get it, right? I want you to dial into that sand as it unfolds here today. And if you turn this sideways, it's an infinity loop, right? Just as a reminder that it's always unfolding for us. Life is always unfolding. And we can, no matter where we are, here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to go, oh my gosh, he's right. I've been messing it up. Oh my gosh, I've been focusing on the past. No, just acknowledge it. The moment you acknowledge it, We've just invited intention in, and we can adjust. We can naturally, organic adjust, right, from the deeper part of ourselves. So we'll get into the cup later. Somebody remind me, DJ, please remind me about the cup. And I just want to give a shout out before we get into our guest today. DJ is gallivanting like a royal. She's embodying travel. Talk about being in the present moment. Travel naturally does that. That's why we tend to love it, because when we travel, we tend to, if we can, some of us, a lot of us, we get out of that obsessive thinking, or we start to look at our surroundings, and it naturally invites presence into our lives. That's why a lot of times we feel so good when we travel. So we'll get more on that later. But let's do this. Let's bring on our guest. And Beth, remind me about the cup. I have a couple readings today, but we have our guest who's in the green room right now. So I want to invite Emily on here. Emily, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, good. So I'm going to just set this up for those of you. And I want to invite you to share in the chat and share with an individual. But let me just say good morning here real quick before we get in. So welcome. Good morning, DJ Mandy. Good morning to you. I'm glad you're here. Ivy, I want to find out where you were, because the mountain place where you were, I want to just jump into that scene. Good morning, Facebook user. I don't know who that is. Power of Pure Presence welcomes you. Good morning, TJ. Good morning. Let's see. Nature teaches us to be still. It teaches us that everything is connected to everything else. And I know we have Dr. Grant on here. Good morning, Dr. Grant. Good to see you. Good and healthy morning. Healthy is a key word. Good morning, Sandy from Australia. We're glad you're here. Carrie, I believe you're on here as well. So we're just want to grab your shares. Continue to share. I'll continue to grab your shares. Let's go someplace fun. Great day, beautiful people. All right, everyone, I'm going to transition because this is really special. Good morning, LS. I'm glad you're here too. I love the fact that you're joining our show. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you. You're at work, but you jumped on. Thank you so much. So I was at an Eckhart Tolle retreat because I wanted to expand this in my life, and there was a bunch of books on the table, and I thought I could buy the Eckhart Tolle books at home, but I was looking for something interesting and different. And I saw this book. It's called Sunrise Gratitude, 365 Morning Meditation for Joyful Days All Year Long by Emily Silva. I thought, you know what, let me grab this because I like the daily reads, and I thought I could use this in the morning videos. So that's what I did. I bought the book, started reading it, and then our sponsor, Duchess, reached out to Emily, the author. And Emily, she agreed to come on the show. So we went back and forth. We did a test. And then I went to Barnes and Noble, right? I forgot about this. I went to Barnes and Noble, and I look on the bookshelf in Barnes and Noble. What do I see? I see this book. So I was like, oh, that's a sign. Okay, so we got to have this happen. So Emily agreed to come on today, and she's going to read today. It's July 31st. So what a way to close out the month. This is our first official guest. So Emily, I'm going to bring you on now and welcome you to the show.
Hello.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good
It
morning.
looks like you're in a beautiful place.
A beautiful state and a beautiful place. Thank you for noticing that. And thank you for coming on so early, because what time is it for you right now?
It's 7:15, but it's okay. It's beautiful. I like being up early. We're going to go hiking today.
Oh, so you're going to go out in nature today too. Amazing.
Yes.
So why don't we just share where you're from, so everybody knows where you
I'm
reside.
in San Diego.
So you're in beautiful San Diego, beautiful backdrop there. So I would imagine you're going to have a great day hiking.
Yes.
And so what do you think about this so far coming on? I'm sure you've been on lots of shows, right?
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I'm watching all the comments. People are so positive. I love this. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning. So I know you have a number of books out, but why don't we get into the reading, and then maybe
Okay.
after we can talk about what presence means to you. So why don't we do
Yes.
that? You start out. I trust you have the book.
I do, I do have the book.
Okay.
Okay. So Sunrise Gratitude for July 31st. Endings create space for rebirth. Things must end to allow what is meant to be to happen. What is longing to grow in your life? Is there anything you are holding on to that is preventing that growth? Let your attachment to people and things that no longer serve you. Attachment only creates pain, especially when we need to release what we are holding on to. Wait patiently for rebirth to take place. Transformations are beautiful.
That is, it's so amazing that this ended up being the reading for today. You and I were testing before, and would you share just what this was this something you were going through, a time in your life, or was it just something that kind of came through? Because there's so much wisdom in this reading today.
I feel like when I was writing this in 2019, I was really embracing the seasons because my husband and I were in a new season in life. We were traveling, and I was just looking around and saying, every time something has ended in my life, something beautiful has taken its place. But when I've held on to the thing that I need to let go of, it's just been painful. And so this meditation is born from that. And I wrote it in 2019, but it still rings true today because there's always going to be things to let go of. And so I feel that when I look back on life, every time I've ever tried to hold on to something that needs to let go, it's been painful. But when I release, kind of like a butterfly, the transformation is actually beautiful.
Yes, and sometimes it can be like worse at that time too. Sometimes it can get a little bit worse. We're looking
Yes.
for that sign, and it starts to get worse, as in the caterpillar's transformation. When the caterpillar, it gets even more challenging before the
Hmm.
transformation happens. So, what would you say to somebody right now, maybe who is in that space? Because listen, some difficult things can happen in life, and we're looking for answers, and we don't see them, and that's what maybe that's what we're holding on to. We're like, gosh, I really want some answers here. And I know it's easy for you to say that, but how do I let go of this? Like, what would you say to
Well,
somebody?
I think the biggest lesson I've ever learned in life is stillness because I find that we want to make the answers happen. So we push for things, and it's actually a call to stillness. It's actually a call to not do anything and let the answers come to you. And it's very uncomfortable to sit in stillness. It's very uncomfortable to wait. But in that waiting is where the greatest growth happens.
So true. And wow, that's really, really speaking to me because as the power of this show, everything's about like everything I say universally, it's always about manipulating the moment. We are
Hmm.
programmed to manipulate the moment to get to an outcome. So when we're hit, we're blindsided by life. What do we want to do? We return to our natural inclination. I need to manipulate the moment to fix this
Hmm.
immediately. And while that might be applicable, I would say it's more of a disease right now. And that's what you
Hmm.
said here. You said, which I, one of the things that, where is it? Wait patiently for
Hmm.
rebirth to take place. Transformations are beautiful. So that's what you're saying. Wait patiently. But, um, and part of the reason why we're here today is because we can get into fight or flight mode. As
Yeah, and
Dr.
I also think there's numbing that we do in the stillness. Like we can reach for things so we don't actually feel the discomfort. And that's where our flight or fight comes in because we want to just douse it in something and push it down instead of like going through it.
Yes,
It's an epic journey.
it is. So let's grab some shares here. I know there's people that are really, really feeling this. I think, um, oh my God, I'm starting to cry.
Oh,
This is so beautiful and wonderful. Yes, and I've found that Emily in this show, just bringing people into the present moment often causes tears and a strong emotional response
yeah.
because the mind is so obsessive. And this has been transformational for me, just to be in the present moment. I've had, just, and I'm going to talk about the logo. I hope maybe I'll get to it today because the logo has significance. But let's see. Um, I'm getting chills. Such a blessing to have Emily with us to
Thank you,
read
Jenna.
for us. It's beautiful. Professor George Grant is with us this morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
Emily. He's somebody you want to connect with. He's a pretty incredible individual. And L.S. Kirkpatrick, glad you are here. So
Thank
everybody's sending
you.
some love. Let's see what else we got. Uh, wow, perfect reading at the perfect moment. So there's lots of great reflections here. Always things to let go of. Isn't it true?
Always, every day.
It's like every day I say to myself, every day can be a death and rebirth. And am I
Hmm.
letting go? Am I just
Hmm.
surrendering? You know, you have a great insight, Emily, and Transform Catalyst is emergence to new life.
Thank you, Mandy.
Let's go someplace fun. That's Dana. Hey, Dana. Dana, are you here? It's a little inside joke here. Amen to stillness. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you made it. Let go and let God. Let go and let nature in. Live in the stillness to find answers. Not only an honor to have you read it, but the explanation of where your head was at the time. You wrote is so grateful. So
Thank you.
I'm holding on to something. Oh, that's holding me back, and so I need to let go. I'm ready.
Mm,
Scared. You know what, Ivy? Here's what I would say, and this is I think Emily would agree. Instead of trying to, why don't you just like the fact that you're aware of it, right, is powerful,
yeah.
right? So just you're aware of the fact that there's something there, like, and then see if you can just allow it to be, bring awareness to it. The space between the silence is where God energy creates a miracle within us. Yeah. So
I
anyway,
brought something on the show too. I just
yeah,
didn't know if we had time for this, but I also
yeah,
have this book, Moonlight
yeah.
Gratitude, and I thought I could read today's if you
Oh,
want, because they kind
yeah,
of go hand in hand. If you want,
yeah. Yeah. The other thing we could do, I'm just thinking, or if you know what, let's just do it because I want everybody to be blessed while you're here. So let's just do it. Go ahead, go
well,
for it.
the reason I bring it up is because I think it was it Ivy? Somebody was trying to let go of something.
Yeah. So go for it. Let's do it.
Okay, so July 31st for Moonlight Gratitude. When healing takes place, there is discomfort. A wound heals in layers, whether physical or emotional. In time, the discomfort fades along with the scar. We need to allow time for our wants to heal and for renewal where the injury occurred. Although we may feel some discomfort with time, healing will replenish the place where the wound was. Allow the recovery to happen. Develop strength and resilience. Where you once felt great pain, you can become stronger and vibrant.
Wow, that's an equally as powerful. And since I don't have that in front of me, I can't see it. Do you want to just speak on it for a moment?
Yeah, well, I wanted to read it because I wrote these books, I think 4 years apart, and it's crazy to me because I didn't do them, like, next to each other and how the meditations coincide, and so when I saw the person that commented on trying to let go and how they were scared, I thought it would be helpful to read that because it's kind of like when we work out and we tear the muscle before we build it, and during this time, I was doing weight training and I was writing about like how painful it was and I hated it. And I felt like I kept hurting myself. But then
Yeah.
in the end, I did get stronger.
Wow. This is going to be a strange question. Is your husband's name Nate by any chance?
Yeah,
Oh my
not a
God.
strange question.
I know your husband. He used to
You
work for
do?
Tony. He used to work for
Yeah,
Tony Robbins.
he was a Tony Robbins coach for years. Yeah.
There you go.
Small
So
world.
I was in the Tony Robbins community. He might have been on. I might have had him for a coaching call years ago because he was a coach, right?
Maybe. Yeah, he was a coach.
I saw the name and I was like, wait a second, that name sounds familiar to me. So yeah, I had him as a because I had this was back in 2013. I want to say that
Yep.
is so interesting. Wow,
Yep.
that
We're
just
both
arose.
coaches.
That just arose in the present moment. Everyone, you see that? That is so powerful. Well, Emily, I'm so glad you agreed to come on today. I think this was such a blessing. And before I say goodbye to you, just if you want to share what presence means to you.
Well, it took me a long time to learn the power of presence, and for me, it is that still moment. It's when I can stop my mind from wanting to do what it wants to do, which is be busy, and just sit and notice. And for me, that's really powerful because I tend to have my mind racing all the time. And when I learned the power of presence, I learned that I had the ability to harness all the anxiety that was inside of me, and that was transformational for me.
Yes, that's a perfect way to end this. So I want to thank you again. You're welcome to hang. Whatever you want to do is go with me. I'm going to transition to another little thing, which
Thank
is
you,
going to,
everyone.
yeah, which is going to be perfect setup for what you just said. So thank you so much for being here. And who
Thank
knows,
you.
maybe we'll connect again.
Yes. Have a good day.
Thank you. So you can't make that up, right? Happen to know Emily's husband. But what I want to do right now, in line of what Emily just said, is I want to invite you to do that right now. The studies keep coming out, okay? That when you are in nature or you're even viewing nature, it reduces anger, fear, and stress. The other thing it does, it harbors positive feelings naturally for you. So I want to invite you. We have the cup here. This is the Power of Pure Presence cup. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to pause. I want to invite you to pause and breathe. And I simply want you to notice. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your big toe. I don't care if it's something in your environment. Maybe you're going to hear something on this. And what we're doing, the cup is the observation cup. So we're going to observe. It's almost like you're just observing. There's no need. You're not judging anything. You're just simply observing it. And I want you to imagine that you're putting it in the cup. What is the design in the cup about? So if I get time, well, you know what? It's already in the present moment. I'm going to share with you what that logo means. I'm going to share what that logo means, and I have two other readings here today. So let's do this now. I just want you to pause and breathe, and just take a moment. So don't even feel like you have to type anything in right now. Just pause for at least like 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and then after we'll type it in. Okay, what you hear. Just notice what you hear. Find your breath. Let your belly expand when you breathe. I'm going to step away. So what did you hear? What did you see? Just take a moment. Some of you are like, I just want to keep pausing and breathing because it feels good. It's grounding. It's nature. It grounds you. And part of what Emily was saying too, it when you find that stillness, if you can find it, it's connecting to the deeper part of you. Nature sounds in stereo. Sandy hears different nature sounds. They're all unique. It's like a symphony, right? And so the research keeps coming in. It just keeps coming back what this does for us our biochemistry. And I'm going to read something here in a moment to add to this. The sun, light the paths, love it. Yeah, you see the sunlight just flickering through on the path there. And we're at half hour into the show, and I just want to highlight our sponsor, Gallivanting Like a Royal, Duchess DJ Love. I want to invite you to connect with her. She's building an incredible travel platform. She's showing people how to live in the moment, really, but how to travel like a royal on a budget even. And she's consistently doing travel videos, bringing interesting content to you. So I want to make sure you connect with Duchess DJ Love. And thanks for being here today. So we have more. I'm going to read something here for you right now that's also in line with what we're talking about. So this is the book Stillness Speaks. And I'm going to read something right from this book now. I'm going to read two things. I'm just going to jump around here a little bit because they're short readings. And by the way, I just want you to share this with at least one person, because somebody may be struggling with the mind. They might just be obsessing over something. And I just want you to know you can live more fully now. We don't need to wait. Someday is an illusion. It is. It's an illusion. It's whatever small seed that we can get here today in you. It could be something in a share. It could be something that's said. It could come out of nowhere just because you're in the moment. But that small seed can be expanded upon. If it feels right, you're in alignment. You can tell. Your body responds. You intuitively connect to it. There's no stress. And I'll talk about something in a little bit. But let me just read this. The mind is incessantly looking not only for food for thought, it is also looking for food for its identity, its sense of self. This is how the ego comes into existence, and it continually recreates itself. So the ego is consistently recreating itself, right? It's constantly looking for something to latch onto. Ooh, I can do that. I'm better than that. And by the way, I'm not saying this is bad. I'm saying it's more about awareness. So let's get back to the power of nature. We depend on nature not only for our physical survival, we also need nature to show us the way home, the way out of the prison of our own minds. We get lost in doing, thinking, remembering, anticipating, lost in a maze of complexity and a world of problems. We have forgotten what rocks, plants, and animals still know. We have forgotten how to be still, to be ourselves, to be where life is, here and now. There is no future moment that can fix right now. So why not just be here and now and live more fully now? Be yourself. Why be myself? The world doesn't accept that, because no one can express your essence but you. When you are in your true self, heart-centered, in alignment, void of hyperthinking, connected to your deep stillness, you are in essence, whatever expression comes from that, it's true, it's pure, and it somehow serves the world, even if you're not aware of it. Your presence serves the world. So that is a great share right there. I'm going to talk to you about the logo. We got about 25 minutes left. So I have another reading that I'm going to give you a disclaimer because it's kind of deep, but it's so transformational. It's another book that I'm reading out of. I've shared on my other lives. So I think we're going to have enough time. I believe we will. So I'm going to talk about the logo, what the logo means. And then this is another book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And there's just another beautiful story in here that I think is going to really, really add a lot of perspective to letting life in and living life. All right, so I got to dig into my notes because I wrote this down the other day and I said to myself, oh my goodness, we need to share that live on the show. And I want to get your shares too. So let's, your presence serves the world. Yes. Isn't that beautiful? Your presence. And then you're thinking, doesn't that feel better? Then I gotta manipulate. I gotta figure it out. I gotta crack the code. Just if you could just be present in your essence, presessence, 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 your essence. I have several books and works. The principles have gotten to me where I am now. You are a divine gift. Some people may not be able to accept that right now, but here we go. Okay, DJ saying bring it. She's saying bring it. Okay, so we're going to bring it. Let me find the meaning here of the logo. And I also want to invite gratitude in. Were you able to cultivate a seed of gratitude this morning? And if you did, I would love to know what you're grateful for today. I'm grateful that we had a guest on today. I'm grateful I was able to find a spot because the Wi-Fi, you have no idea how many I'm walking around this location. I'm like, wait, I need certain amount of reception. So a lot of this is really embracing uncertainty, right? Because the place I went to yesterday, it didn't ended up not working out. And then as soon as I sat down, and I didn't even plan this, it's like the rays were coming through the forest. It was just like the sunlight was trickling through the canopy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the place. So let's see here. All right, we're going to find this right now. Come on, Austin. You got this. Come on, Austin. You got this. Where is this? So, okay, I got it. All right, let me grab your shares. Grateful. My AC is working. Upstairs went out. Okay, good. That's why I suggested reflecting upon it. Mandy, give me some context. Tell me reflecting on gratitude. Sometimes I say things, it just comes out, right? So grateful for bringing the nature, as I didn't have a chance to go out to nature today. So we'll do more of that too. But let me share with you and I'm going to fine tune this. This is kind of a rough draft on what I'm talking about. But let's see if I have the logo here. I can share it with you. If not, oh, I have it right here. Here it is. So let me share this logo with you right here. So what does that mean? And the reason why I'm sharing what it means is because there's a lesson in it. The infinity loop. When you connect to the present moment, while you are energetically dialing into the present moment, you are also connecting to the infinite. You could even say the divine. You're connecting to the divine. I like to say, divine is infinite, so you're connecting to infinity. When your awareness increases and you feel this presence, it can be overwhelming and cause powerful emotions. In its raw simplicity, the present moment can overtake you. You can consciously seek it, be aware. Sometimes it overtakes you in a moment and it can cause powerful emotions. I've had moments where the present moment was so intense that it caused me to uh, become overwhelmed, literally overwhelmed. So it's very powerful. Now, the second thing is that if you look closely at the logo, hello, we may have some more special guests here soon. So we have, if you look at that, it looks like a dove. It looks like a dove. You notice the dove? Dana, you notice the dove? So there's a dove on here. So the dove represents, it's when you connect deeply to the present. The fruit of this is you are one with the deepest part of yourself, which is peace and love. It's a pure place. I call it peaceful power. The dove, peaceful power. There it is. So now you connect to the infinite. You're connecting to a deeper part of yourself. You're in a state of peaceful power. And then if you look close, there's a ripple. And then the ripple, you now emanate or expand out from the deepest part of yourself. You no longer need to get somewhere else to feel better. You are now in alignment. That is power of pure presence, the pure essence of it. And I'm so it was a divine download. It just came from, I don't even know where. It just came from the divine. It's God ordained, I believe. And I believe the dis-ease of the world is that we are not, this moment is flawed. I'm flawed. The world is flawed. There's something flawed. I need to get out of this moment and get to a future moment. And the psychosis is that if I get there, something's going to get fixed, but it never does. Because we get to the success, the person, the new love, and we go, wait, is this all there is? And then we're going into the next moment, and then nothing fulfills us. This is how powerful this is. So I just wanted to share that with you. What are your thoughts on the logo? And we're doing this real time, everybody. So let's see what you got. So emanate, expand your alignment to God energy. Someone said, wow. Yes, it is a wow. It absolutely is a wow. Someone's asking if Dana's there. I don't know. We'll have to see. Love the dove. The dove, peaceful power. Peaceful power. There you go. Interesting. And that's why you said, Dana, are you here? Because she is. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to do that now because we're running up against the clock. I could sit here for hours and engage with this. But I will be speaking at around 3:30 in Maryland. I am in Wheaton Regional. I didn't even tell you the location. I'm in Wheaton Regional Park. It's about 35 miles south of Baltimore, Maryland. So I'm in the state of Maryland because I'm speaking here this afternoon. So I invite you, if you are in the area, if you get this and live and you can drive within a couple hours, there's going to be live music. We're doing it even tonight. You could come even tonight because there's going to be live music there. So love the logo. Okay, so because we're up against the clock, I'm going to ask Dana. Dana, you want to come on and say hello? So, yeah, why don't you? I'm going to get up, take a break, and I'm going to stand back. I would love for you just to, first of all, introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Dana Banks. Yeah, I'm Dana Banks. I'm an author.
What about Dana Banks?
So I am currently writing a book called The Postcard, Pennies and a Promise. I've journaled for 11 years since losing my mom. I lost my mom in 2011, so I've been journaling about how she communicates with me. And I am now writing a book, and you're welcome to take a look on my webpage. It's DanaLynnBanks.com, DanaLynnBanks.com. And you're welcome to browse and subscribe to my diary. I don't call it a blog. I call it Dana's Diary. So there's some bonuses from that will be included in my book. And what I did today was I brought a very special guest with me.
Okay.
And I brought you a gift as well. Brought you a gift. So brought you a gift.
Am I going to open this live?
Of course you are, because it goes with the show.
Well, listen, I really appreciate this. Well, let's introduce the guest
Of
first.
course, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ifer Hussein. I'm an upcoming artist. I make canvas paintings, and it's just like from my own creative flow, from my intuition, just to bring out to the world and inspire people, basically, because I love to like inspire people through my words and my art. Yeah.
And so this is just your first time being
Yeah.
subjected to Power of Pure Presence?
Yeah, this is my first time being here.
So art is very in the moment.
Yeah, it's very in the
capturing
moment.
the moment.
It really connects me to just being in the moment and like freeing myself through an expression
Mm-hmm.
basically. And it helps me connect to, like, I guess you would say different realms or
Yeah.
like nature.
Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, worlds and stuff.
So this is arising in the present moment.
I wish
So-
I brought my canvases with me because I have it in the car.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to connect, but this is right now, right? So we're
Mhm.
right now, and you just shared. But I want to share what the present moment is to you, because that's what I really want to harness here.
Oh, sure.
What this is, because you and I had some conversations about this,
absolutely.
and try to speak up because I
Oh,
want to
sure,
make sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and I can raise this up if you want. There you go.
Yep. Okay.
So
Yep.
so everyone's
All right.
saying welcome. Go
Thank
for
you.
it.
I don't have my glasses.
It's
But
okay.
so before connecting with Austin, I constantly achieved everything for the future. I wanted it's going to eventually get better. It was constantly living, not for the present, but for the future, constantly, but never getting any results. And so, since connecting with Austin and the power of pure presence, it's that we have to live in the moment. And when you do that, you're able to connect on such a higher level. And I have recently had an awakening. I have not written poetry since I was 20. I'm 51 now. So now I found my gift again, my gift of poetry. It's like a rebirth. I know that the author
Yes.
earlier, we were driving, so I didn't catch her name, but
yeah.
she spoke a lot about rebirth. And I always had anxiety because I said, I'm 51. Essentially my life is over. I guess, I just missed all the opportunity, but that's not the case, because now there's a rebirth and there's growth. And I am just so, so excited. And I'm very, very appreciative for Austin and his philosophy. He's the philosopher. So
You know what? It's already in you. That's why I say
Yeah.
it's already in people, but it's dormant.
it
With
is.
limiting beliefs.
Oh my gosh,
We're not
yes.
living in the moment.
Yeah, because we're constantly feeding ourselves with, I guess, it's over.
Right.
But this is a very special gift.
All
And
right,
you definitely have to open it on
I'm going to open
here.
it now.
Absolutely.
And
So-
being in the present moment means mind, body, and spirit. Because those are it's like the Holy Trinity. It's like when you connected with your mind and body and spirit, you're just able to be in that present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely true. And that's why I didn't know if you were going to find me because I was like,
Yeah,
out
it
here
was
in
a
the
little.
woods.
It was a little difficult, and I did get the bug spray, but I forgot.
That's
to bring
okay.
it.
Well,
So
you know what?
is it?
They weren't bad. So everyone, I'm going to open this gift. This is real time. This is
Yes.
unplanned. That's why I said most of the show is unplanned. So let me open this up.
Synchronistic.
Yeah.
Synchronistic, absolutely.
So let's see. And so today we're going to be. You want to share?
Oh
The
yeah.
event today?
So today's event is just phenomenal. So it's from 1 to 5 in Hanover, Maryland, and Dr. Andrea has gifted gifted everyone with free admission to the event. And
Wow.
so it's amped.
Oh, I see this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very
No
amped for
way.
change.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's kind of, you got to kind of
Okay.
yank it open.
Yeah, I'll
You
get
gotta
it.
slide it out.
Okay.
Yeah, slide it out. Yeah. Yep. And so that's the CLA's gift to you. And so that's from the Connected
is the
Leaders. All of us are gifting that to you as
Oh wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Look at that.
Yeah, and if you read it,
Well, I want
Yeah.
to share with
of
everybody
course,
here.
isn't it beautiful?
Oh my
So what does
gosh.
the dove mean to you?
Peaceful power.
Mhm.
It's a
I actually see a lot of doves in like my backyard because my
Mhm.
dad. I
Yeah,
have
every time we
birds.
speak, the doves appear.
Oh
I
Yeah,
my
and so it's on the
gosh.
I have
ribbon.
parakeets. My dad always throws bird food out, so I always see doves everywhere.
Wow, okay.
It says so it's a dove. It's a beautiful wood carved dove,
Mm-hmm.
and it says power of pure presence on it.
That's so beautiful.
That is so, oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I
Yep.
did not
And that
expect
is from
this.
the Connected Leaders
That's what surprises
to
us.
to you for your show and for all of your help, and just giving of yourself, Austin. You are so heart-centric, and you give so much. You really do, and you've changed so many lives, and I truly appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I know everyone else does. So
And it starts with us, it
Oh, it
starts
does.
with
It
our
really
own
does.
journey because, you just never know. It's an evolution.
Mhm.
And that's why I say, don't be afraid if somebody sees the version 1 of you,
Oh yeah.
because some people are afraid of that version 1. What are people going to think?
Yes.
I've made so many mistakes.
Oh
We've all
gosh,
had.
yes.
So
Yeah, we're all
as long
human,
as,
right?
right,
Evolution.
as long as you're heart centric and you're moving forward,
And you're open-minded.
open minded.
all
What's your first name again?
Ifer.
Ifer. How do I spell that?
Iyfer. It means moon.
IYF.
Iyfer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it means moon. We just had the moonlight reading. So, wow, this is really a blessing.
Moonlight reading.
Yeah, we had a moonlight gratitude reading today. She read. Emily has another book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Emily.
So, yeah. You have to
And
check
what
that
a
out.
small world. You know her husband, apparently.
Yes, I know her husband.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
I saw the name and I was like, I
And she
know
lives
that
in
name.
Australia.
No,
California.
someone lives.
California.
Sandy lives in
Sandy
Australia.
was from Australia.
she's from Australia.
So Mandy's Tears of Joy. Yeah, this
Oh.
is.
Yep, and that's that just it's everything, and it's also hand carved as well.
It's hand carved by refugees.
By refugees. Absolutely.
That's so beautiful.
Yep, it really truly is. So
I wonder where you're gonna keep that.
Somewhere
It
special.
may have to come with me on the show.
You know what?
Oh, yeah,
It may have to be
Yep.
it may have to be a part of the show.
A part of the hourglass.
Yeah, because we have so much here.
absolutely.
So we've had an incredible show.
Yes.
So I'm not going to get this reading. I don't know if I want to. This is really deep. It's kind of, we only have like 8 minutes left.
Okay,
I want to get some shares. So I want to get some shares from you, live playback, and I want to give the audience a chance to connect. So let's do that now. You're free to please stay, and yeah, we're just basking in the nature here, and it does. And Dr. Grant, I'm glad to see you're still here because we did a book together. It's called Your Health Turnaround Story, and Dr. Grant always says that when you find your deep breath through nature, you get in what's called parasympathetic mode. Parasympathetic mode. When you take a deep breath, what's happening? That's why we do pause and breathe. You can do it right now. So you want to do it right now? You can just pause and breathe through your nose, and you can pause at the top of the breath and exhale through the mouth, and then you want your belly to expand. And avoid thinking, am I doing this right? Just think. Breathe in through the nose and let your lungs fill up. Let the air go to imagine you're driving the air down to almost down to your toes. Now, do you feel that? Do you feel that?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
I feel like it almost feels like I'm high. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, it just feels like that, but it feels natural.
It feels natural.
Yeah.
It's just renewed.
Yeah, like renewed.
Yeah.
You feel renewed. And how long did that take?
It took like 5 seconds.
5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So 5 or 10 seconds, what's happening is your body's recalibrating. You've gotten out of your mind. Now you're into your whole body becomes in alignment.
Oh yeah, I felt it. Like
you felt it to your toes.
The
Yeah.
flow through my whole body, like
right.
To my toes, up to my head.
Right. So now that you're stimulating parasympathetic mode, rest, refresh, digest. That's why during this show we don't really talk much about meditation's powerful, but this is more about real life.
Oh, the present moment.
Real life, because you're as real life unfolds. Some people are like, first of all, how do I meditate? And the other people are like, well, I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Exactly.
So just
focused on, am I doing it
right?
Not focusing
on
that.
So that's it. And when you overthink, you're just adding to overthinking.
You're adding more thoughts.
So that's why we say #pause and breathe.
Yeah.
#pause and breathe.
Because that's actually the simplest technique. I actually learned that. I'm actually a school student and I'm doing psychology, and I actually learned about just breathing. And meditation is a powerful technique, but breathing is actually the first step. Right.
So pause and breathe. So we have 5 minutes left. I just want to highlight our sponsor again. Excuse me, everyone. We have Gallivanting Like a Royal. You know DJ, right? Duchess DJ Love. We are planning some exciting things. We have a retreat. I'm going to share that right now. So let me share this. We're working on a retreat, everyone. I'm going to give it a shot. I hope it works. Here we go. that footage is a good friend of mine, just to show you how living in the present moment, being in synchronicity. A childhood friend of mine reached out to me. He's in Costa Rica, so 99% of that footage he sent to me. So that's the location that we're looking at. And the music is from a gentleman I used to work with. I took the two, put them together, and it just, again, everything that we need shows up if we just can live more fully in the moment, and we can allow, and we can get out of the manipulation, the constant manipulation of the moment. What is coming from the deepest place of you? I want to invite you to, as we close out, go to austinhaines.com. For those of you on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku, we want to invite you into our world. You see these beautiful chats that come through. They're for people that are just actively watching. We want you to go from a passive listener to an active listener. Certainly you can just watch, but we want to invite you into the community. It's just a beautiful place to connect with people, connect with nature, stay grounded, come from your deepest place, come from a state of peaceful power. I have honored this space with you today, and I love this, Mandy. Let go and let God. Everything you need is within you now. This has been a very special episode. My cup runneth over. So God bless you, everyone. Love and hugs. Pause and breathe. Come from a place of peaceful power. God bless.